Ciao, everybody. Welcome back to Sun Tzu Secrets. I'm here again with Mr. Ryan Williams. Ciao, Ryan.
How's it going?
All good. Happy New Year, my friend. Happy
Happy New
New Year.
Year's. Big
Yeah.
New Year coming up for the old world.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. 2026 is going to be huge, awesome, and full of events, which is a little bit about what we're going to talk today. Um, so before we dive into the topics, we also are due for an FAQ update, Ryan, which is happening, I guess, pretty soon.
Could be in the end of this month from everything that I'm hearing.
Yep, yep. So let's see. Let's see. I mean, it's gonna be an interesting run of FAQs. I think we have some big things pending. We know Cathay needs to be nerfed on which I think there's a lot coming up. Um, and as we walk into 2026, Ryan, and we reflect over the past year, I would say 2025 has been probably bigger than we all thought it would when the old world dropped, right?
Absolutely. It was a crazy year for the old world. Cathay dropped so many arcane journals, 1.5, the matched play,
Match play,
Battle
yes.
March, everything all came out all in 2025. And it's just been a big old pile of new stuff right there towards the end of the year. And everyone's had that wonderful chance to hit a bunch of different events with those different formats.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. So listen, great things ahead in 2026. And last time in the last episode, we were like chatting a little bit about the German comp. And disclaimer, I called it German comps because everybody is using this name, and we just want to make sure that everybody who's listening to the podcast understands what kind of rule set we're using. Because not everybody's happy when we call them German comps. So, but anyway, the team tournaments Ryan and I did together with our team is finally over. And Ryan, what can we say? Do you want to share the screen and show us what happened?
I've got it up.
Yep. So here we go.
Alrighty. Big end of this event. Five big rounds, lots of good games, incredibly tight there towards the end. Belgium, congratulations taking first.
Yes.
Massive win over their final tournament. Well, their final opponent set them firmly in first place. Miscast Crew, which was a group out of Australia and close around, taking a
Yep.
nice second. We ended up beating them in our final round. Just wasn't enough points to go ahead and upset them off that second place.
Yep.
And Yankee Hammer, which was myself and Andrea, our team, we ended up
Woo.
in third.
Yep.
Solid run. We were the only 5-0 team. Lots of wins, lots of hard matchups. We got there. We didn't quite get all the way there, but we did what we could.
Yep.
Going on, we had a bunch of other good teams. The LD3 Tabletop Trolls, which is a bunch of the players that run the LD3. Life is a Game of Dice, which is a German team with our good friend Nate. We also had a few of these others. England on Fourth Rawls One Immortal, Russia on Falkshammer, England and France on Frog and Beans, a second US team on Human Team Yes Yes, Canada down in 12th on the Marienburg Maple Moose Mission, along with some other, I think there was a Spanish team, and I don't remember where a few of these others were from. But overall, very, very tight. There was a 100 point, I think it's a 80 point total gap between the teams, and the
Yep.
gap between first and sixth was only 30 points. So
Yeah.
very, very tight run. Every game counted.
Yes. And I can say that the level of the players personally that I faced, maybe except like a one or two situations was really really high. I had four amazing games because one I couldn't play, and I needed to have our dear Corey subbing for me because I was traveling and it was a little crazy. But the four games I played, personally were all like against very good players. In particular, I remember my last one versus Teco, the commander, with Vampire Count. That was like one of those games where it's like really big headaches, measuring everything, solid moves, great strategy,
Mhm.
clear ideas on everything. Ryan and I have like a long chat on Discord where we share our opinions, and it's like this long. Um, but guys, everybody who's listening and watching, it's like, I mean, check these tournaments out. Uh, there might be German comps, there might be different packets or rule sets, but just try them on because it's super fun. The pairing, the thrill of waiting for your teammates' results, and all of that really makes it up as a great experience. Um, I feel a little bit like guilty for the second place we missed for 2 points, because I think my last game versus Tech Commander, I could have grasped like maybe more than a 12-8. But those Blood Knights were impossible to kill. Like, I mean, I flank charged them, and they managed to escape and then drilled all the way on the other side of the board and score 75 points of a Scorpion. So I was like, ah. But I also made a mistake. I didn't. Ryan, you were giving me the right comment afterward, but I could
Mhm.
see the play. But we don't reveal anything here. We will do some tutorials later on in the year where Ryan will show us some tricks and moves so that sometimes you see at play during tournaments. Anyway, amazing tournament, great experience. So certainly that is interesting, but it's not only what we did as a team, but it's also like some interesting individual results that I would love to share. So uh, again,
Here they
Ryan,
are.
you did an amazing tournament. So let's look at the podium. Like, you went in third for just a bunch of points with Wood Elves. What did you do? How did you make that happen? Yeah.
I had some really good games along the way. I had a lot of really solid players that I ended up playing into as well. Very, very difficult schedule. I think I had some of the top players across the world that I ended up getting paired into. Had Nikki Butcher over on from France, hanging out on his Beastman Wild Herd. Had a really, really clutch play where I breath weaponed a bunch of harpies and it went right through his skirmishing gore brick with all of his characters in it that was hanging out at the edge of the board. Requires 4 8 or aboves in a row for this play to have happened on panic checks. But I breath weapon some harpies. They panicked off the board, went through his gores, and the brick fled off. Turn 3 ended up in a concession at a 20-0 because he didn't have anything left on the board. Played against Charlie over from England. Amazing player, just phenomenal player. That was round 4, I believe, going
Yes.
into
Yes.
England.
That was
Uh,
round 4.
he was
Yeah.
on demons. He had a really, really solid list. Unfortunately, he had the flu, so he wasn't feeling super well. I had a couple of really big plays. I ended up fireballing off his illusion wizard, which was the only way he could lock down my dragons. With that happening, I had also put some beast packs in front of his bloodthirster and kept impetuous checking his bloodthirster and pulled it way out of position. Just things were not going his way, and with him being sick, he went ahead and conceded. Probably, I think it was the end of turn 2. It was already a very, very foregone conclusion where he wasn't going to be able to pick much up after I had impetuous checked things in multiple different spots, and there was a bunch of failed charges on his side.
Yeah.
I think I played against one Orcs and Goblins the first game, ended up on a solid 16, 17, I believe. Played against our own Eric from the US. He was the only loss that I have in there, but it was a 9-11 loss for me. Uh, I failed a terror check. Otherwise, it would have been a nice 10-10, and it would have been a nice,
Mm.
clean, even 401. But well played on his part. We played a very technical dance. I was a single wound away from getting 50% points on on his dragon. He managed to pick up some things. I picked up some things. Solid game.
Yeah.
Then we finaled out with me into a Tomb King brick. Uh, I had talked it through with a couple people before I played the game, made the decision that I had to go ahead and kill his Tomb King on a dragon. I ended up pulling it off, killed everything else in his list, and all he was left with was a Necrosphinx that had never charged or did anything that entire game, and his Tomb Guard brick that I really couldn't bust. But as long as I didn't touch it, didn't lose anything across the board, I was able to pick up a clean 15-5 into that game without having to worry about losing anything.
Yeah, I mean, I of course, I mean, we played in the same team, so I followed up your results very closely, and I was impressed by by the combination of like the list and the results. Because I mean, of course, I know you as a player, but sometimes, as we say, even in the Formula One movie with Brad Pitt, is saying like it's not only the pilot, you also need the car, to win the
Mhm.
races. And I think the consensus up until probably a month and a half ago was like Woodloves were like a subpar faction at the moment. But it does sound like there's a little bit of of a setup that can work. So Ryan, do you mind showing to our viewers maybe your list, and then we can look at the other Sergey and Denarius list too, so that we can see who are the top three. We
Absolutely.
we did this already, but I think post mortem, it's good to see like actually how the you know how the list performs. So what are the heroes? What are the MVPs of your list?
So we do have the double dragons. One is a magic attack. I had teched slightly into anticipating that I might get thrown into vampire counts, or there would be a heavier concentration of vampire counts across the event. Unfortunately, I didn't pair into them. Granted, I would have loved to have as
Perfect.
well because I was built to go ahead and slap them around. But I did have one of my Glade Lords set up so that the dragon plus the Lord all swung magical attacks so that I could fight those Hex Wraiths. Otherwise, both of my dragons were built for dueling. They both had the aspect of the cat so they could reroll. That is such a huge benefit when you're dealing with champions and you have to go ahead and always strike first or swing first into those things. That allows you
Absolutely.
to, instead of maybe having one wound and then losing a combat because of a challenge out, potentially swinging up to 3-4 because of that reroll when you're hitting on twos or threes and then wounding on twos. You generally start to win those combats more favorably. The stomps are great. This was a event that started before the Westerlands came out, so I didn't have to worry about the no stomp banners. Granted, I don't think that would have changed this even post mortem. I think that would have still been fine because only one unit of in someone's list would have benefited from no stomps, and I probably would have just worked around that one unit. The core didn't really do a ton. It was a bunch of small MSU packs of elves that were there to march check, just put some chip in to be able to prevent someone else from scoring. And then the Glade Riders were my primary scorers. Then moving into the special, anything that didn't fly in German comp was allowed to score. So the sisters all had the ability to score in this set format.
Yeah,
They
and a
also
floor
had
up
used
ward.
they
So
had 4 up ward. The big thing was is they rolled them back to 1.0 sisters where they were able to pick their spell. That was crucial in how this list operated, being able to pick those fireballs, the curse of arrow attractions if I needed it, wind blast, any of those different spells between elementalism and battle magic was crucial to being able to pull this list into what it wanted to do. Without that, it still can function. You're running a lot more hammer hands, and then you're committing the sisters into combats that aren't necessarily always the thing that you want to be doing. However, it can work. I have made it work in a non-German comp event. It's just very, very touch and go, and you have to be engaging in certain criteria before you want to actually send that. And then the unsung heroes of this list are actually the Wood Elf Beast packs. Those things get into things like crazy. Being able to move 18, being a simple 19 points, and being able to march block, charge someone's cannons or their war machines and just lock them down for a couple turns, charging them into a gore herd to try and proc frenzy. Things like that are actually really neat little techs that 19-point unit can do. And in the end of the day, at the end of the day, if they die, it's 19 points. It's not
yeah,
even enough to really skew the matter of the game. It's just the versatility that they bring to the list is crucial to being able to finesse move around while being able to have redirects or things that can pull things outwards.
I was about to say these are like probably the cheapest chaff that you can find in the whole game. 19 points for something that moves 18. It's I mean, you there's no value to it. Like it's like there are things that you cannot buy with an American Express, for
Right.
example, like the Wood Elves packs. It's one of those. And I think that and this is might just be me, but I think as we progress into the old world game, meta game, and everything, I think 2 years in the game, we are seeing some chaff coming big, coming back in the game, because it was more of a play during Eighth Edition and Ninth Age rather than the old world at the beginning. But now, with like the change in the meta style, we don't have that dominance of flying monsters again, like it used to be at the very beginning. So now, being able to block uh, becomes an asset. So that's great. I mean, I love your list, Ryan. I think I told you when we were prepping for the tournament, I was like, this list can really work, and I'm a fan of Wood Elves, so I just can't wait for them to be back in the spotlight, because I want to start an army, by the way. So awesome, congrats, like really, because a third place is a huge achievement per se, but within a team tournament and with Wood Elves, it's even more worthy. What about Daenerys and Sergei? What did they play?
Sergey brought his typical vampire counts.
Okay.
Nothing hugely surprising. I think we've seen this exact same list almost
Yeah.
from his appearances over in the Italian circuit. It's the triple necromancer one with the Mortis engine, the scepters, an
Yes.
illusion wizard, the White Lord with the BSB Helm of Commandment, the the ever existing Graveguard brick with the
Yeah.
Charm Shield, Obsidian Lodestone, and the Drakenhof. I mean, there's nothing here that is anything outrageously different from how he plays this elsewhere. I think the only thing that I've noticed that was a little bit different was the double Karen Wraiths. I think in his Italian list he only ran one.
Yeah.
In this list he runs two and one less Hex Wraith than I think is typical. But it's very, very typical, very standard meta uh,
Yeah.
vampire counts list. It's
Yeah.
very, very hard to crack for a lot of armies if it's paired into the right pairings, which it looks like they must have gotten him the ideal pairings throughout the event because he has a 19, 18, 17, 19, 18, and 19. Very, very solid scores across. Means that he probably wasn't having to deal with anything that was really threatening his list or that he just had straight hard counters for across the board.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Very, very good list. Solid player piloting the list who's got a lot of reps into it,
Yes.
and probably very favorable pairings without having to
Pairings.
dig into that and
Yeah.
spend a lot of time. If you guys want to, feel free come into the event, take a look at his pairings. They probably are very telling. I could probably look at these and get a lot more information out of it and be able to talk to it more. But for the sake of time,
Yep.
just a solid list piloted by a solid player.
Yeah. Absolutely. And disclaimer: click subscribe to the channel. We have this fantastic series of shows with Ryan, so if you want to hear more about it, just like sign up, subscribe, put like on the video, and comment, so Ryan will check out the video itself, so he can answer to your questions, and again, you can reach out directly to him. And yes, you can check out on New Recruit, everything is public, so you can see. I mean, he scored 91 points. So, I mean, Sergey is a great player. I played him once, and I remember it was one of the toughest games in Old World that I did do. And yes, when you score 91 points, it means you pretty much had ideal pairings throughout the tournament, which is also the reason why I was telling you before. I was like, yeah, I know you want to be number one because Ryan is an ambitious player, but it also depends on how you get paired in a team tournament, because it really depends, who you find. Maybe at some point you will have to deal with something subpar, maybe like a drawish game, because maybe you have to help someone out from your team and all of those things. I think Sergey list is very effective against Cathay. I mean, it's designed, I would say, not designed, but it's really strong against Cathay because he has 6 units 60 ethereal units, a bunch of screams. So it's really hard. I mean, if you don't have a setup with like Shugengan generals with battle magic and the rings and like magic missiles, it's gonna be not an easy game for you, man. It's like it's gonna be very fast, flying at you, pushing you, get the cannons out, you know. So yeah, great. I would say great list, very solid. And what about our friend Christian? What did Daenerys brought this time?
Christian brought his pretty much. I think he ran this in the last German comp singles event.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
his wild herd list that he's been rolling around with for the last, I think, couple months.
yep,
It's the Beast Lord with the Black Maul, Gnarled Hide. It's the big nasty gore brick of
yes,
39 with a War Gore BSB, Slug Skin, Banner of the Pelt, Banner Pelt of the Dark Young, uh, triple Vile Tides inside of it. You've got the Primal War Herds, a couple of Razor Gores, some Ungores, a Dragon Ogre with a Shartak. I'm surprised he's not taking the blackened plate here.
yes, yes,
That
very.
that actually does shock me a little bit. Not having him running around as a 2-up save is a little counter to what the normal is, and then a
Yeah,
couple harpies with the Herdstone. I mean, it's a very solid list. It's very common, very established over in the European meta. Uh, Typically, we'll see this built with maybe one more Bray Shaman, depending on the comp of the event. So you've got between 3 to 5 Vile Tides coming out of the list. You've got a ton of Gores. It pushes really hard. It's got poison, so they spike fairly often. They can get into things that they probably shouldn't normally fight, but with some of the additional buffs between the Slug Skin of -1 to be hit, the Beast Lord just throwing an insane amount of attacks out with low risk to him, all the Vile Tides, the buffs coming out of Demonology, the Earth and Ramparts coming out of Elementalism, the Wind Blasts. It's a very hard list to go ahead and crack. Uh,
yeah,
there's a few different ways that you can do it, but the one thing until since this was pre Westerlands, there was no stomp banner in there. Typically, we would see in a current meta the poison banner coming off and becoming the no stomps banner. Because in the current format of how this is built, its one major weakness is monster mash lists
yes.
where they can get in and stomps don't care
Stomp
about the
you.
-1 to be hit. There's no armor on the Gores, so they can just rack up a bunch of combat resolution on the Gores and win and break the brick off. Once you take that away from that, this brick is nearly impossible to break
To
without
break.
very specific criteria.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the German comps on this specific build of Beastman, which is pretty known, I would say, probably was a little soft, especially when we compare it to some other, play stylists that got nerfed or heavily limited. But again, Andreas, if you're watching the video, it's the I mean, we love German comps. Okay, we love German comps all the way. I'm We're just like doing a little bit of a debrief postmortem to see like what the key learnings are out of this. I think this list is really strong. I mean, again, it did rank number 2 overall for a reason. I mean, Daenerys is a hell of a player, so it's like it's a combination, but I think this is a very solid list basically, and with the banner that protects you from stomping, it's another little help. So we'll see the FAQ run in January. We will see how the German comps will react to that. I know Andreas told me they're working on a new release, so we will see. More to come on that. um so I guess this wraps up our event in German comms. And while I let Ryan prepare for the next, uh, there's a lot coming up. So as we said, 2026 is going to be packed with events and tournaments. Um, we have in the US, and this is for all our friends and folks in the US, we have Adepticon, which is coming up pretty soon. It's at the end of March. By the way, if you didn't, please secure your ticket because I think they had 100 spots available, and last time we checked, there were just 30 left, or around that number. So, just hurry up, because it looks like it's going to be the biggest, the Old World event, single Old World event so far ever in the States. So it's going to be huge. And we got the pack, so the composition package and everything. So maybe we can go through it together, and let me pull it out. Hopefully I don't miss. No, that's right. Great job, Andrea. Okay, so Ryan, what do we see? It's gonna be a 2,000 points, 5 games. So it's a GT,
Yep.
of course, over 2 days. All the newest releases will be included, including the Great Bastion, the Arcane Journal that is coming out. I would say maybe in a couple of weeks, maybe not. Who knows?
Hopefully. Hopefully.
Hopefully. Um, so anything that is legacy renegade factions, to my understanding, it's not gonna get used, because they say fan-based GW packs will not be used for this event, which I believe includes the renegade
Yep.
packs. And it will be a combination of Grand Melee and combined arms together.
Yep.
And uh max points 500 for a single unit or character.
Yep.
um and basically everything else is pretty much up to the match play guide composition. I'm just going through it. I
These
think
are
that,
big right here that are
but
highlighted.
yes, the two things there are no
Actually,
special
3.
characters. Yeah, 02 applies to same rare. Oh, 02 applies. Okay. Okay. So max 2 rare units of the same.
Or
Duplicated.
Mercenaries, which hits the Jade Fleet builds. Yeah, the no special characters is big because that means that we won't see the Crawl Maws hanging out. We won't see Green Knight.
Green
No Miao
Knight.
Yings. No Elise Duchards.
Yes.
Uh, I think there's a couple others that hang out. No Hans Lowenbecks for Nuln. A couple of those other ones that are just kind of niche. No Kicknicks. No Kicknick
Yeah.
shenanigans out of Orcs and Goblins. So no special characters kind of takes away a few of the weird builds.
Yeah.
Cathay Sky Lantern 0 to 2 per army. I mean, and that includes characters. So I think
Yes.
that's kind of lining up with a lot of the different comps that we've seen already. I wonder
Yeah.
if this changes after the FAQ drops. This might, because it is a version 1.0. We might see a version 1.1 before the event.
Yes. 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 Absolutely. Agree. I think they kind of aligned with Cathay. Maybe this pack can slightly change after the FAQ drops, because maybe they will, in the errata, they might change the composition rules for the lanterns directly from GW. I don't think they will. They might just increase the cost in points, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Then, of course, there will be Adepticon Old World FAQs dedicated to this
Mhm.
tournament, which is something that Ryan and I have been discussing in the last couple of days. Because we'll see what the future holds for 2026. And I'm not gonna say more at this point. Then I see we will use baggage trains, secondary objectives, common objectives, special features, and markers. So I think it's pretty much uh, very
This is
strict
the
to the rules.
this is a very interesting scoring matrix here.
So
This is
scoring
def-
matrix,
this is
yeah,
definitely different from match play. We're using the 0 to 6, but it's been adjusted to a 12-point scale. And it looks like each point is 2 points.
okay. This is interesting. Okay, so okay. I
Yeah.
wonder. I wonder why they did that. Interesting. Okay. So, and I think there's a 6 points, 12 0 oh 10 2 8 4 6 6. Okay, now I get it. Okay, see, yes, it's different. They might be doing this to avoid too many ties, or like equal or identical results after 2 or 3 rounds. I don't know. It's,
I don't know. There might be additional things between sportsman appearance and things that get factored into each round. We'll see what
yeah.
that looks like as it comes forward. I
Yes.
might have to just dig more into this packet. This is the first time that I'm looking at it as well. So
Yeah. So basically, for everybody listening, uh, if you're interested in going to the Adepticon, secure your ticket. But if you're going, it's going to be 120 points in total that you can score. 60 of those will be the tournament points, so the points for the game itself. So 12 points max times 5. And then you're going to have 25 points of secondary objectives as defined by the match play. And by specific scenario text. So this is also different. But okay, I think we will have to look at read the specific scenario, because usually the secondary objectives are just like you're adding points to the
mhm.
score. So I'm not sure I understand here, but we'll see. 25 points appearance, so basing, conversions, freehand, display board, and all of that. Um, and then sportsmanship, 10 points, 2 points per round. At the end of the tournament, players will vote for their favorite opponent and their second favorite opponent. Um, so favorite opponent votes are 2 points per vote, and two favorite opponent votes are 1 point per vote. So it's
Mhm.
really encouraging people to be like, competitive players, but also nice players and sportsmen during the tournament, which I very much like and encourage, because I think it's key. It's important. Um, the awards will be best overall, best painted, best sportsmanship, best faction of order, best harbinger of destruction, and overall for each army, which I think it's nice. And Ryan, what do you say about the appearance rubric? Rubric
I am definitely taking a look. Very heavy on the conversion points over here. They're
conversion.
really looking for some heavy conversions armies apparently.
Yeah, there is some elementary conversions. Yeah, okay. Some difficult conversions so in order to get 3 or more points, you need to put putty, plastic cards, trailing, sewing, sculpting. Wow, very well done. Multi-kit conversion. All right, so that starts to be some
Starts to
big
be
one.
a huge investment in your army to just come to this event.
Yeah. And
I
extreme is 4 points, which could be a scratch build conversion or sculpt of an entire model, large amount of models with difficult conversions, or the entire army is extremely converted. All right, I'm not gonna get 4 points. Telling you.
there's a good chance that I end up at a 0 to 1. We'll be honest here.
Yeah, we'll see.
Model
We'll see.
basing. I mean, nothing here is hugely hard outside of maybe your conversions points
We'll
for the
see.
people who don't want to spend a ton of time and invest extra money into making a already expensive model even more expensive.
Yeah.
Uh, but with your model basings, multiple flock are painted with highlights, one flock for a 3 point. That's pretty standard even to GW's battle ready.
Yeah.
Uh, Once again, display boards having 4 points for a diorama that wows people, or 3 for a multiple flock, terrain elements, shading, highlighting. That's nothing major. That's kind of the expectation for a good display
GT.
board to begin with. And then just the initial overall, having a fully painted army, having detail beyond the minimum tournament standard. So going just a little bit beyond your three colors. That's that's really just go a little bit beyond battle ready, and you're going to hit your 12 points there. It's these additional model basings and conversions that are probably going to be what sets a normal player aside from a someone who's just there really hobbying hard.
Yeah. 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 Agree. Well, sounds like it's gonna be uh, a huge tournament, a huge convention first. So I encourage everybody who's watching, if they can, just join. Even if you don't play, just come over. Adepticon, I've been there twice. I was always amazed. Ryan and I will be there, so we
Mhm.
already secured our tickets. And it's gonna be great to meet all the folks in person. And based on this appearance rubric, we might be seeing like some great armies up there. So that's another that's another thing that we wanted to share with all of you. And then aside from Adapticon, what else do we have in the pipeline?
We have a lot in the pipeline outside of Adepticon. We have just even on Warhol events alone. Right now, sorry everyone that didn't sign up. You missed this one, but US Online League play has now come to fruition. It is going to be here every month. More details to come for February. There might be a little bit different format in how we are presenting this, but League play is here. Welcome to it. We want as many people signing up for it as we can. It is very cheap. It is a $5 entry. 3 rounds. It's a basically an RTT every month. You will get 3 pairings per month. It's going to be 2,000 points. Very easy. You're going to play 1 game a month. Well, 1 game per week, and that's all the commitment you have to put into it. The top 3 players will get prized out with Warhol free months. So sign up, get those free Warhol months running if you can win the events. Otherwise, go ahead and get those reps in. It's a great place. Lots of tough players. This month alone has a lot of very very tough players. It's the 0 to 6 match play. Round one is looking almost exclusively like draws or very small wins.
Yes.
Andrea so far is the only big win with a 5-1. Everyone else is hanging around at like 3 3s or 4 2s. So very, very good event. And it's coming down the pipeline every month. So hopefully we see more of you out for the next ones. We know that this month was a little bit dicey with the holidays, coming off the holidays and the holiday
Yes.
hangover, and then waiting for an FAQ. Not everyone wanted to sign up, but we
Yeah.
hope to see you there next time.
Yeah, we did the
Also,
first. Yeah, we did the first double digit. It's just really the first round of this new league, and I would love to extend the appreciation to Ryan because he's been organizing this, and of course, big shout out to Steven from Green Banner because I mean he's like the one behind all of these events, and we are very very happy as Sun Tzu Secrets as a channel to see more TOs and like people betting on the old world because I think this game has the potential to grow exponentially. I keep saying that. I think the player base in the US for the old world, like square based games, it's even higher than our cousins in Age of Sigmar with the round bases because simply been around for like 40 years before we got erased during end times. But I think it's just a matter of resurrecting and awakening from the slumber all the people that forgot about the game, and I think we can do huge numbers. And again, just check this out. It's a great way to even start playing and test the game, even if you don't have a single miniature yet. Just have fun. Go online, meet new friends. Um, you know, basically from every state of the country. So
mhm.
it's gonna be a blast. Then what do we have after this?
After that, we have these are all within the next couple months. We have the LD3 WTC GT.
Wow.
That is going to be held, but yeah, it's very big mouthful of words there. Uh, this is going to be held by Gontherder or Andreas over in Germany. He is going to be running a 5 round event. It's going to be using the 2025 event pack for WTC unless the 2026 comes out before that. It's going to use all those comp points, the newest FAQ. Just going to be a good time to go ahead and get out there, start testing against those WTC level players, get 5 rounds in, find out if your list is able to hang after the new FAQ. This is just a really good starting point post FAQ to go ahead and find out what's actually changed and how it plays out. So very good testing area. Pash Hammer online, hanging out at that 2-2 start date, right around the same time as Andreas's LD3. This one's just going to be British held, so a little bit different FAQ. I think it's going to be much closer to rules as written without Comfac. I don't know. I'd have to look at it again. I don't think the full pack was out there for his.
Yeah.
Once again, it's just another testing ground for right after the FAQ comes out. Get a few games in. I think this is a 3-rounder, maybe
Yeah.
5-rounder. I'd have to look again.
Yeah. And by
It's
the way, congrats to Pash for winning the UK Masters. I think there are a bunch of videos out there. So, That Way After Dark or Close Order, I think they made a couple of videos. So check it out. And congrats, because I know Pash is like following us. So if you see this video, well done, man.
well, well done. Going down beyond that, we have the Field of Flanders. That one's going to be held by Team Belgium. They are running this one. This is actually one of their qualifying events for Team Belgium. However, they have opened it up for us as internationals or anyone who wants to go ahead and play this one. Feel free, come out. It's 5 players left on the docket, as we can see right here highlighted. It's 45 out of 50. Already a big event signed up. Uh, Gonna be a really tough event. The Belgians are very, very good. They love their
Oh,
Warhammer.
they
Uh,
they
so
are. Yeah. Yeah.
so come on out, test out try and grab up those last 5 spots and test out a list. Hit up that Belgian stuff
Yeah.
and test your metal.
And
And
I think,
then
this is a kind of a tendency that we're seeing, like of opening up local events to international communities. So I see Belgians are doing it,
mhm,
Italians, we know they've been doing it, and you've been performing quite well in those Italian tournaments, Mr. Williams. So I think it's great. I mean, that's one of the things that I love about this. It's just like the community, it's becoming worldwide united, and it's just so good for the hobby, for the game. So just excited about it.
absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it becoming more of a global community instead of a very fragmented and secular
Yeah,
community for each country.
yeah. Let's see what we can do to unify this community, but we'll see. I mean, it's still a young game, so we'll see. We'll see in the future.
And then a little bit farther out, we're gonna look just a little ways into 2026. Out in June 13, 14, we're looking at the Atlantic City Open.
Oh, this is
Big
this is
thing
big.
about this one, it's a 5-man teams event. That is the first teams event held here on US soil. So, well, I think they held the first one actually last year with a 3 or 4-man teams event. We're repeating this year, except they've grown it to 5-man teams. And rumor has it that there might be some international teams flying in for this one.
Yeah,
So
I heard.
we
I
we
heard.
we could see some very spicy stuff going on at this one. Some big names floating around at that event.
Yeah.
But great event. Great tournament organizer going behind it. Talked to him a lot. It's looking like it's going to be big. We've already got 8 teams signed up for it. Looks like there could be a lot
Yes.
more coming up. 32 teams total. We'd be looking at a
Wow.
150-person event if it fills. So hopefully we see you all out there. I've already
Yes.
got my ticket and I'll be there.
Yes. 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 I know Simon is the TOs, is great guy. I think the first person I met in the States related to Warhammer when I moved 10 years ago. He has a great passion for the hobby. He's a great guy, very a lot of hard work. He's putting a lot of hard work in the hobby. It's already the second or the third time he's doing this, and it sounds like this time is going to be the biggest. And I mean, Ryan is coming. There is a great team that I know it's already formed up, which will be a tough one. And I don't know if I'm going to play with the East Coast Warriors, which is my club here in the States, or if I'm going to help support Simon with the logistics. And one way or another, Sun Tzu Secrets will be there. We will be filming. We will be giving full coverage with interviews, guests, and like shorts with results day one, pairings, and everything you guys need to know in real time. So it's going to be an amazing event. So looking forward to it. Yeah. So I think there's a lot on the horizon.
There's a couple more. One I
Yeah.
can't quite talk about. There's one that I'm involved in the planning. It's also going to be June's. Uh, just be on the lookout for another Teams event coming up there. And then the other one that we know is around the corner, but it's not posted yet, gonna be probably May, is gonna be the WTC online. So for everyone who is interested in testing your metal and looking at what WTC format's gonna look like, there will be an 8-player Teams event online, and it will be an open online for everyone. So come on out, check it
Yes.
out. The US took first last year. Hopefully, we can get it again this year, but,
Yes.
it's right around the corner. Start getting those
Yes.
people together because May is looking like the day.
Okay. So it's actually not that far in the future. Yes. So we have the crown over here. Team America has it. So guys, come on over if you want to try to get the crown for this year. And like jokes aside, it has been one of the greatest online tournaments I've ever did. Met like a lot of nice guys around, and I'm really looking forward to potentially play this one again. So if you are on the fence, never did an online tournament, just like reach out to maybe 6 or 7 friends out there and put together a team, coming out and have fun with us guys. Um, Great. So, okay, I think I will have to have a chat with my wife about all of my upcoming tournaments. She's not gonna be happy. She never is. You know, she's always pissed at me anyway. So, all right. So I would say this is a wrap for today. Again, don't forget to put like on the video if you did like it. If you did like it, let us know why you didn't like it. So put it in the comments. Subscribe to the channel because we need you guys, and check out our memberships as well. And Ryan, thank you so much again for being here with me.
Always a pleasure.
And we will be back soon with more things to come because I guess, Ryan, we will do an episode on the FAQs as soon as they drop.
Mhm.
All right. All right, folks. See you around. Ciao.